friend. Welcome to the Style Thief Fashion Podcast. I'm Erin Stahl, personal stylist and founder of Style Thief Fashion. Through my tools, not rules approach, I'm here to help you unlock the style you've always dreamed of so you can live the life you want. Hey friend, how are you? I don't know, are you feeling a little lightness? Are you feeling like I feel? I can sort of see the light at the end of a tunnel. I feel like I've been staring down or stuck in rather since January. The first part of this year was very heavy for so many people and for so many reasons. And I think this was the first year I might have experienced a little seasonal depression, because as the weather has, we've had more sunshine and warmer temperatures. Like, we have had the most beautiful spring in the last couple weeks. And I have to tell you, living in Nebraska, I don't know, I can't remember the last time we had like a proper spring season, and we are in it. And I'm feeling this burst of energy and wanting to be outside, just feeling all of that spring newness. And every year I say this, but I think it's true. I think spring is really my new year. I'm not going by the calendar anymore. Okay. So with that being said, and the fact that we are into spring, headed into summer, and I know that weather-wise, this might not be what you're experiencing, depending on where you live. I just had a conversation with a friend this morning, and she lives in North Dakota, and she's like, it's still so cold and gloomy here. So I understand that many of us looking outside, you can probably hear the birds chirping in the background. They are so loud. It's green and bright and lovely, but that might not be the case for everyone. That being said, we can still prepare for the coming spring, summer season. And there's 3 things that I want you to do as we get into just feeling like we're ready, because I don't know about you, but sometimes it's like I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, it's 90 degrees outside. And I have been caught in seasons like that, or these little weird peaks in the temperature where I'm like, I don't have my summer stuff ready to go. I don't even know where my shorts are. I don't know where my tank tops are or whatever. So today I want to give you 3 things that you can do to help prepare yourself for if you're in spring right now or it's coming your way. Of course, some tactical things you can do with your style, but then I'm going to throw in some mindset stuff too, because especially when it comes to the season where we are exposing more of our skin because otherwise we'll die from heat stroke, there's some mental stuff that comes along with that, and I'm not going to ignore that. So I did some of this myself this weekend. I spent basically the whole weekend in my closet, and it was more of like it's disgusting in here and I need to dust. And I dusted my shoe shelves. I took everything out, vacuumed. It felt really good to do that. Sad to say, it's been a while. So it was a closet edit in that sense of like clearing some stuff out, cleaning some stuff. But I really didn't edit out or get rid of much because I'm constantly doing mini in-season edits. And if you don't know what that is, you can go to my Instagram page and I have a highlight about how to approach mini in-season edits. And it's a way to be on top of and really connect with your wardrobe more frequently throughout the year so that you don't feel at the bigger change in seasons, like you have this big task looming. So for me, I chose to do more of just the big kind of like dust everything clean out. But when you're doing those little edits, you're more in touch with what's in your wardrobe, what you want to wear, what might be missing. But in these bigger, like the 2 major transition shifts of seasons into spring, summer, and then again, like fall, winter, it does take a little more time. And I want to give you some things to think about and consider over the next couple weeks as we're headed into warmer weather. So the first thing I want you to do, and when I say I want you to do this, I want you to do this in the way that brings you the most energy, whatever works for you, your time frame. If you want to take a full weekend and just knock this out, you can do it bit by bit. I usually don't have the time and space in a weekend to do these things, but we had this weekend where there was nothing on the calendar, and we both, my husband and I, he was doing projects outside, I was doing projects inside, so we had the time and space to do it. But if you don't have that in your calendar, I know May is a really busy month, do this over a couple weekends or a couple days, or, chunk it out as you need to. There's nothing saying this all has to be done in one day. But I do think that as we look to warmer weather, I finally decided for me it was time to take the sweater shelf and clear it out, because there's clearly wool, really heavy, thick sweaters I'm not going to be wearing anymore. We're into the season where I can pretty safely say that a wool sweater is not going to be what I'm reaching for. So moving those, for me, I move them to the top shelf in my closet. They're not accessible to me easily. I'm bringing down like the lighter open knits. I had kept my denim shorts. All of my shorts were in a stack up on the top of my closet. I brought those down. So even if you just spend the first part of this taking stock of where are my spring, summer things, where are the bathing suits, where are the shorts, where's the linen, where's if they're all in your closet, but maybe they're in a section, you want to move them forward and push the winter stuff toward the back. You have a bin that you pull out from under your bed, bring out the summer stuff, put the heavy winter stuff in there. Because I know, we'll still have some cold days. We'll still dip into the 30s at night, or have some mornings that are cool, or who knows, we could have another crazy dip in the weather for a week. So I need to have, the jeans, the layers, the jackets available, but the heavy, thick stuff I can move out and move away. So once you have those piles of things, or those collections of things, the short sleeves, the lighter fabrics, like I said, the linen, the open knits, the shorts, maybe that's step one, and that you just do that and you know where they're at. Those bins are stacked up. You've moved them to a section of your closet, whatever that looks like for you. Next, I want you to, we're still in phase one. Phase one is where are the things for spring and summer, finding them, getting them in one place, okay? Then I want you, my love, to try the shit on, okay? I had some anxiety about this. I know my body has changed over the winter. I did a lot of hibernating. I did a lot of eating. I did a lot of consoling. I did a lot of sitting, warming myself with my heating pad in the corner, online shopping for people. I was definitely, like I said, in hibernation mode. So I'm I know some things that fit well at the end of the summer are not going to fit the same. And I noticed that I was having some anxiety about that. But here's also what I've learned about anxiety is it can be this looming thing you start to make a story about in your head. And one of the best ways to kind of cut through the anxiety is to just do the thing that maybe you're avoiding. So I had been avoiding this stack of shorts that I had pulled down on Saturday. So yesterday morning, I set a timer for 15 minutes. I was well rested. I was hydrated. I had had my coffee. I had a great playlist on. And I was like, let's just try on these shorts and see what happens. And I knew I had a pretty good sense of which ones were going to feel great and which ones weren't. And I was right, but I needed to try them on to see. So when you try everything on and all you're doing is trying them on, this is just collecting data. Where are we today with these shorts? These fit, these feel great. I also got clarity that there were a couple pairs that I had worn maybe once or twice last season. I was like, yeah, I don't like these. I'm not going to wear these again. So those were able to be moved out to the donate pile or sell pile or whatever. You just give yourself a little bit of clarity. No one's asking you to style them. No one's asking you to make big decisions about, are these shorts in style? No. Do they fit you? Do you like them? Those are the two things I'm concerned about. If they fit and you like them, they stay. If they don't fit and or you don't like them, they go. Okay? So if you have those things that you like but don't quite fit, I'm not asking you to get rid of those things. Maybe you are, working on your fitness, whatever, and you think in a couple months, couple weeks, I still want to be able to wear these shorts. So we're in either direction, you think I'm going to hold on to these. I want to wear these again at some point. Just move them out of that space if you can. My closet, I'm very lucky, is very large. My bedroom is super tiny. My closet is very large. I do appreciate the design choice there when we moved into this house. I'd rather have more closet space than more space in my bedroom. So if you have a section of your closet, if you've got space in there, that you can just put these things that you want to keep but aren't fitting your body right now, or can you move them out? Can you move them to a bin that slides under your bed? Is there an empty closet somewhere in a guest bedroom, in a basement? Can you put them in your laundry room? Do you have a storage place in an attic? You can put things in a plastic tub and move them up there. Move them out instead of getting rid of them. And I think this is really important because I want your closet from season to season, from day to day, to be a place where there are no barriers. And maybe you have noticed, because I have too, there's barriers in our wardrobes for a lot of reason. And one of the biggest ones is we are rifling through trying to put a cool outfit together for an event, or we're going on a date, or we're just hanging out with friends. We want to feel cool. And then you're flipping through and you are seeing all the things that aren't working for you. This jacket that's too small, these jeans that are too small, that shirt that you haven't put on in years and you're not really sure, but you think you might want to hold on to it. When you have those barriers, it prevents you from feeling free to wear what you want, to get dressed easily. So I want you to remove those barriers. I don't think you have to get rid of those things forever. I'm not into absolutes like that, but I do think if you move them out of your closet for right now, it saves you a lot of energy in multiple ways when you are getting dressed. Even on the days where I'm just putting on an outfit because I can't be naked today, you know that every single thing that you are going to reach for fits your body right now. Now, this is the reason why I want you to continually do check-ins with your wardrobe and with yourself, because in a month, maybe you can pull some of those shorts back in and be like, oh, okay, these fit a little bit better. I'm going to bring them into rotation. So don't clear them out completely. Don't get rid of them, but move them out of that closet space, or move them to the back of the closet or the corner of the closet that you're not accessing, so they're not in your way. So that when you open those doors or you walk inside, you know, and you have the freedom and the space and the clarity to know everything in here is working for me. So the only way you're going to do that, to know that, is to try stuff on. And this is something else in still part one of this 3-part getting ready for your summer style process that is really important, and I want you to do for all your categories of clothing. So that might take a little time, and you might not have the time in one day to do it, but maybe you're gonna 15 minutes every day, you're gonna go through your shirts, you're gonna go through your tank tops, you're gonna go through your shorts, your jeans, whatever, and take stock of, do you like it? Does it fit? If you're on the fence about either one of those things, maybe move them out. If it's just the I'm not sure I like it, maybe put them in a place and say, I'm going to wear these things. You know, we'll kind of get to the next part of this process, being intentional about wearing them, and that will give you clarity too. But if they do not fit you for any reason, move them out. Move them out of your closet. The other thing that's really helpful as you are trying things on, you will see, ooh, this linen shirt that I wore to the pool as a cover up is very dingy. There's like sunscreen stains and I need to wash it, take it to a dry cleaner, or replace it. So the other thing you're doing as you're putting these things on is you're seeing, maybe did you not get these things, they weren't clean when you put them away. Listen, no judgment here. I have totally done that. I found my linen blazer. I was like, oh my God, there's a coffee stain on this that I did not know. And it was just sitting in this closet the whole time. So I, again, moved that to a section of these things need to be like washed, stain treated, repaired. You're also going to get some clarity, because another barrier to getting dressed can be, I want to wear this thing, but there's a stain on it and I don't have the time to deal with it. I want to wear this thing, but there's a button missing and I didn't have time to mend that. So you can also get clarity in terms of not just fit, but looking at these pieces, do they need to go to the dry cleaner? Is there something that needs to be done so that when you put them back in the closet, there's no barrier to you wearing it? They fit, they're clean, they're not stained, and they look crisp and fresh. So when you're going through and trying on all these different categories, you can also be taking stock of and taking mental notes, or getting out a pen and paper, or getting out your notes app, which is where I live my life, in my notes app. what are my summer needs and my summer wish list. Every single summer, I refresh my white t-shirts and tank tops. So I have some that look okay, but I'm going to get a fresh new Everlane box, essential box tee again in white. And I'm going to get a new Everlane Air Tank in white again, because they just get a little dingy. I wear white tees and tank tops all the time, and I want those things to be fresh. So at the top of my summer wish list or needs list for my wardrobe is another t-shirt and a tank top. So this will also help you in this process of, does it fit? Do I like it? Is it clean? What do I need to refresh and replace? Then you can also be discovering as you're going through your wardrobe, you know what, these sandals at the end of the summer were on their last leg, because yes, you're going to go through your shoes too. I want to replace them and get a new fresh pair of like leather slide sandals, or this season I want to add XYZ style of sandal. The sandal I'm intrigued by is this mesh, like leather open weave. They also have like a jelly shoe version. I'm tempted. That is on my list to find and try this season. So taking stock of your wardrobe in this way is going to get you prepared. You're going to get clarity on what fits, what needs to be like replaced and refreshed, what you like, and then you've got a place to start with your wardrobe. So that's part one. It's really kind of a reckoning, and there are these days where it's like, okay, get that Diet Coke, get that cup of coffee or whatever you need, put on your favorite playlist and get in that closet and get some clarity. I promise when you do this for yourself, you are going to be so thankful. You're not going to be scrambling when there's a 90-degree day and you have to take your kids to some outdoor event and you're sweating. You aren't going to be questioning once the kids are home and you're scrambling to take them to camps and then get yourself to work. I can grab this blazer and there's no coffee stains on it. This thing fits. Set yourself up for success in this way with this summer wardrobe, because once we get into the summer, the travel, you want to have all of these things at the ready to go with no barriers. No barriers. What does that mean again? These things fit. They're clean. You like them. They belong there. Okay. So you have now an idea. This is part 2 of this process. And I know part 1 had several parts. I am sorry. Part 2 is, how are you going to start wearing these things right now? Because we're still kind of in a transition. Maybe for you, it feels like summer. Maybe for you, where you're like me, we're teetering in between hot and still kind of cold. We want to keep the layers. There's some sweaters we've got out still, maybe some boots even, or maybe you're still stuck in winter, but you want to bring the lighter things in. So now that you know what you've brought back from your spring summer wardrobe, how can you start incorporating these pieces into what you're wearing right now? So pairing the lighter linen pieces with your darker jeans, pairing the lighter colors with some of the textured sweaters, the cotton pieces that you have. Start to blend and mix those things. And if you need ideas, my style guides are a great resource for that. I send them out every single season. And you can go back and look at outfit ideas, and there's always I try to blend, things that can kind of be not quite summer, not quite fall, where you can start to see how these things can be paired together. In the spring style guide, you'll notice there's a lot of combinations with shorts and a sweater, shorts and a blazer, shorts and a sweatshirt, because that is my favorite outfit. And when I get weather that is like between 68 and 78 degrees, I am wearing shorts and some sort of like denim jacket, blazer. I'm wearing a sweater. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. That is my favorite thing to do. And I get a couple days this time of year and a couple days again in the fall. So that's one way you can start to pair, like bring out the shorts. If you have some of the shorts that you want to wear, start wearing them with some of those cool, like open knit sweaters. That's what I wore yesterday. In fact, those are the ways that you can start to, if you're teetering in between seasons, you can still start to wear the lighter pastel colors. Pull them in with your darker wash jeans and wear them right now. Still wear them with your neutral boots, or bring in a sandal if you know it's warm enough I can show my toes, even if maybe they're not pedicure ready like mine. That's the final frontier for me, I'll tell you, is the pedicure. I avoid it. So much work. But start to bring in the sandals if you want to bring in the sandals. So really there's and ignore those rules about you can't wear white till after Memorial Day. No, wear the white jeans with a chunky knit sweater. Wear some of these lighter linen tops, like your linen button down, with your pull-on wide leg pants to work. You can start to blend these fabrics now, and that's also going to give you kind of this way to, especially if you're someone who's in this colder climate right now, to make it feel a little more like spring. So that's the second part, is how can you start to incorporate some of these lighter spring summer pieces into this sort of in-between season. So number one, reckoning with your closet, going through, making sure you know what's there, what fits, what's going to stay, what's going to go. What are the things that as we're approaching spring and summer, you need to replace and refresh? And then the wish list of, new trendier things that you want to bring in, which also, if you need some ideas for what's trending for spring and summer, my style guides are great for that, because I'm always telling you, here are some of the trends to look out for. Here are some of the pieces you could incorporate in some of those trends. But the final piece of this, and feeling like your wardrobe is spring and summer ready, is a big mindset shift. And it's funny because when I was going through my closet this weekend, I was, like I told you, I was having some anxiety about trying on some of these shorts that I just knew they were going to feel a little more snug. And I wanted to avoid that feeling. And I think that's very human. And I want to recognize that and call it out and honor it and allow it. Many of us avoid doing this task because we know that our bodies have changed, as they should, as they will. And going into this season in particular, there is a lot of anxiety about showing more of our skin. So there's some mental things that I want to help you shift and think about that I hope will make this transition into this next season easier for you. So the first step is, I think, that avoidance that we feel in just doing the work. And it can be a lot of work to go into a closet, because it can be opening Pandora's box, right? I'm going to have to, if I see this dust bunny, I'm going to have to clean it. I'm going to have to do the whole thing. Like, I was in this position where I was like, I have the energy, I have the time, I'm going to do this. But you do not have to do that. You take this piece by piece if you need to. However it works best for you. If it's I'm going to spend 24 hours, 48 hours doing this task and completing it, great. But if you're a person who's okay with doing this in pieces, again, I cannot stress this enough. You need to meet yourself where you're at right now. So do that in this process. But I promise you, when you do it, as you're getting dressed in the next couple weeks and months as we get toward warmer weather, you are going to thank yourself for doing it. So part of this mental mindset shift is just preparing yourself for that. It's a new season. So the first thing I'm going to do and go through and bullet point, write these things out. Step one, where is the summer stuff? Did I put my sandals away and I need to bring that bin out? Did I put away my linen stuff? Where am I short? Just getting your head around that, and then spending some time trying the things on. All of those things, you are giving yourself the tools that you need, the knowledge, the clarity to just know where you're at and to get sort of the lay of the land for what does my summer wardrobe look like. Just doing that task is going to have you so much more prepared physically to put the physical clothes on your body when you just take the time to do this, whether it's in one day, one weekend, or through the course of a week or even a couple weeks. But the other thing I want you to be prepared for is your body's different. I would put money on it, and I don't care which way or how that looks, your body's different than it was when you put these clothes away at the end of the summer season, for many reasons. I have my hibernation body, and I love that time of year for that reason of like, I just kind of settle into that coziness, and I've indulge in the comfort food and the holidays and the post holidays and the whatever the hell we went through in the first couple months of the year. Like I ate a lot of tortilla chips about it. That's fine. I did that and my body put on a little extra weight for me. And that's great too, because my body needed to do that. And that means that some of my things are going to fit a little bit differently. It doesn't mean that I can't show my body. It doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of being able to wear shorts or tank tops this summer. It just means some stuff is different. And maybe for you, it's in an opposite way. Maybe you've had some health issues. Maybe you had a surgery. You're less mobile. There's certain things that you wore before that aren't going to work, maybe with your feet or your shoes. Let's just get to a place where we are willing to, and we allow ourselves to meet ourselves where we are. And when we do that and we don't fight against and beat ourselves up for not being where we were at the end of a season or a few years ago, we give ourselves the space to just be in this kind of place of neutrality. I tend to not use the words like body acceptance or acceptance all the time, because I understand that that's hard. And some days it's there and some days it's not. So if we can just be in a neutral space about where we're at right now, I think that is really important. And I say it, and I know I sound a little preachy, but I have had so many conversations lately, with myself included, and my clients as we prep for this season. A lot of us have a lot of anxiety about the spring and summer. A lot of us are going through perimenopause. We're hot all the time. So the layers that we used to rely on or the ways that we dressed before aren't going to work for us this season. How are we going to navigate that? Some of us just have anxiety. We don't want to show our legs. We don't want to show our arms. We never have. And this time of year is just always a reminder of that, because we know that it's going to be 150 degrees at some point and we're going to sit outside an outdoor graduation. And what are we going to do? So giving yourself the time and the space to process this and just let it be what it is going to help you so much. And I'm here. I will help you make a plan for that. That's what this episode is about. One of the biggest tools that I can give you to get yourself prepped for neutral, here it is, this is where we're at today, or acceptance, or whatever you want to have on that journey, is to put on some shorts or a tank top and just let yourself see these parts of your body that have been covered for many months. When I did Denim Shorts Week several years ago, well, it wasn't several years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago at this point, I should probably revisit that. I specifically did a week where, much like with Jeans Week, I talked through things to think about with denim shorts, because denim shorts are a special kind of hell. And so I wanted to break down some things and, of course, always educate you and give you some things to make finding a pair of denim shorts easier, but it can really relate to all shorts. I'll share some of those. They're saved in a highlight on my Instagram page, but I'll share them in my stories this week for you as well. If you want to go there, follow me there, at Style Thief Fashion on Instagram. But the first task of Jorts Week, which I don't like the word jorts, Denim Shorts Week. The first day was go put on a pair of shorts. They could be denim shorts, they could be any shorts, and just live them for a day, a couple hours or a day. Don't leave the house. Walk by the mirror every now and again and be like, oh, okay, there's my legs. Walk around, go get the mail and walk back and be like, oh yeah, I feel the breeze on my legs again. How does that feel? Wow, I really need to shave because the wind is blowing the hair on my legs. Like, whatever it is, we just need to allow ourselves some time to ease back into this, because there is no worse feeling than, like I said, you're invited to a graduation party at the last minute. You go to put on a skirt or a pair of shorts. You haven't shaved your legs. You haven't seen your legs. You're like so freaked out. Oh my God. You go back to the jeans. It's 150 degrees. You're sweating. You're out of place. Everything is falling apart. So we're just gonna give ourselves a moment to see our legs again, see our arms again, put on a tank top and just walk around and see how it feels. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to see anybody. This is about you seeing yourself and desensitizing yourself to seeing parts of your body that have been hidden from view for several months. So it's not about judgment. This is not a time to beat yourself up and be like, I gotta go back to the gym, or something else I hear all the time. I'm so pale. I'm so white. I just have never, not ever one time looked at a woman and thought that about her skin tone. I don't know. That's probably a whole other podcast episode, but if it makes you feel better, just go to the drugstore and get the Jergens gradual tan. I've used that. It works really, really well. Exfoliate first in the shower and then put this lotion on it. It'll just gradually give you a little bit of color if that makes you feel better to see your legs. But you can walk outside. You're allowed to walk outside right now in shorts and a tank top if it's hot outside, okay? We don't have to earn the right to be comfortable. We don't have to earn the right to wear shorts. We don't have to earn the right to wear a tank top. You can show those things just because you want to, or just because it's hot outside, and you do not need to suffer and hide parts of yourself. So one of the biggest things I can give you is putting these things on and just letting yourself see these parts of your body that you have not seen in a while. And let that be. And that can be the task for the week. And maybe once a week, you're going to do that until it's warm enough to wear shorts. Then it's not so jarring. You're not doing it at the last minute before you have to go somewhere. You're going on a trip. You're going on a vacation. You're going to a party. You've been doing it. You've been easing yourself in. You're like, oh yeah, these legs, I've been looking at these. It's not a big deal. And if it still is a big deal, I get that. I honor that. So maybe that means you're going to slap on some sunscreen and you're going to go sit outside and read your book for 10 minutes to get a little color. I shouldn't probably be advocating tanning. I said wear sunscreen. But you know, even as I walk around, I wear sunscreen every single day. In the summertime, I'm spending more time outside. I do get a little more color. So if that makes you feel better, great. Self-tanner, go get a spray tan. Do those things. Whatever you need to do to get to the point where you recognize that this is the new phase we're in and we're going to be showing some more skin and it's okay. I am telling you, it seems like such a small thing, but it will make the biggest difference in how you approach getting dressed. If you can just give yourself a minute to show these parts of your body. I'm not telling you to go put on a bathing suit yet. Okay. I'm not even ready for that. I don't even know. I did find them. I know where they are. I'm in desperate need of a new bathing suit because my one from last year is just shot. I think there's like sunscreen on it and stuff, but that's for a different time. We'll do that when the pool opens. Okay. But I want you to give yourself a moment to just get used to seeing yourself again. Just like we have to do in the winter when we're piling on all the layers, right? We're shedding all of those layers. And this is a little bit about like being seen and being okay with that. So you can practice it. You have the freedom to practice this in your own home. Don't go anywhere. I say this all the time about if you've never worn red lipstick before, or if you've never worn a certain silhouette before, don't take the tags off of the thing, put it on, and just go look at yourself and see yourself. It takes some getting used to. When you try a new lip color, when you get a new haircut, you got to live in it for a little bit before it starts to feel really comfortable. And then in a couple weeks, we won't even remember how jarring it was to put on those shorts. Okay. So I know, did you think we'd get deep? You must have known. You know me by now. And if you don't, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You know, my whole philosophy on style is to help you trust your own style instincts. And I think as women, there are so many rules we've been taught that we need to adhere to, especially when it comes to spring and summer style. And I want to keep having this conversation. This is why I wanted to give you kind of a step-by-step plan to approach it, because, you know, I think as women, we are told our bodies have to be summer ready or bathing suit ready. We're not ready. We have to get them ready. No, they're ready right now. What's not ready is maybe the mental stuff up here. So whenever I'm talking to you about some of the technical aspects of style, whether it's the fun, we're talking about trends, or we're talking about how to style certain things, which we do here, we love to do that. I also want to give you some mindset work around it, because I don't take it lightly that when you're trying to make a change in your style, when you're trying to step out and be seen in a different way, when you're trying to really own your style choices, there is some mental work. that needs to go on behind that. So I'm always going to give you some of that work to do in addition to just getting in your closet and figuring out, okay, where are my summer clothes? Because you want to be ready. You want to be ready. And one of the hardest parts about big changes in seasons and getting dressed is just having those tools available to you and kind of knowing where they're at. Having a closet that when you walk in, you know everything is there and ready and fits you and you like it. And then you have the space to say, what do I want to add? What will feel fun? What do I want to experiment, style-wise this next season? So if you do these things, it will hopefully set you up for success and, most important, in feeling really great about yourself and your style choices, because that's always, always what I want for you, my friend. So let me know if this 3-step process was helpful to you. If it was helpful to you, I would love for you to share this with your friends, because I can imagine as we're all getting together at end of season stuff, graduation parties, trips, kids' games, we're talking about it. I couldn't find my shorts. I couldn't find this. I'm sweating. I didn't shave. Like, let's get ready. Let's give ourselves the space and time to get ready. You do it on your own terms, but giving yourself through the next couple weeks the time to do this is really going to help you, my friend. And I always want getting dressed to feel easy and effortless when you need it, and fun and exciting when you're ready for that too. So share this episode with all of your friends. Share this with all of the people that you know so that we can all be summer ready and we can just focus on the good stuff, hanging out at the pool, being with our kids, traveling, doing all of the fun summer stuff, and not worrying about the fact that we only have one pair of shorts. We didn't realize that, right? Sharing this episode, leave me a review if you are enjoying this podcast. Subscribe, like, and DM me. Tell me what you want to hear more about for summer style. What questions do you have? What really resonated with you? I love, love, love hearing from you. I cannot stress this enough. So like, share, subscribe, leave me a review, and I am here for you, my friend. So let me know what resonated from this episode. We'll be talking more summer style as the summer season approaches. I don't know, now that I've talked this big game, we'll probably have like 30-degree weather this week or something stupid. But I'm prepared for when the seasons do change, and I know that you want to be prepared too. So I hope this was helpful for you. Now go in that closet, put on a pair of shorts, and then walk around, and then take them off and put your sweats back on. Okay? That can be enough for the day. Till next time, my friend.
90s girl, she's gonna rock your world. 90s girl, she's gonna rock your world. When she walks into a room within 10 seconds, yeah, she owns it. Reminds you of a Hollywood star. She's your lover, not your baby. She's your doctor, she's your lawyer. She's your partner in crime, your best friend. 'Cause she's a 90s girl. She's gonna rock your world. Oh, she's a 90s girl. Well, everything about her seems so cool and so complete. Don't forget her back in 1993. With those low-rise jeans, I think you know what that means. When she covers up that little tattoo. 'Cause she's a 90s girl. She's gonna rock your world. 90s girl. She's gonna rock your little world. 'Cause she's a, yeah, 90s girl. she's a 90s girl. She's gonna rock your world. 'Cause she's a 90s girl. Well, she's a 90s girl. Yeah, she's a 90s girl. Lived in a material world, but you don't worry a thing about that 90s girl. She looked at every